Greetings everyone and welcome to the very first devlog for the one game a month challenge I'm gonna be starting on September 2025. I wanna start creating these devlogs to open up as transparent as possible my kind of a process in making a game each month and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it and stuff like that. These are mostly for help people who are thinking of making a game each month, or maybe they're just interested to hear more how that could be done or such. But anyhow, I have some slides here for myself to kind of back me up for the reasoning for all this. But anyhow, so the company I run is a Chestercraft, and I'm the solo game developer who ships a game each month. And that's my strategy. And I need to kind of mention that recently I've been stumbling on the Sockpop Collective on different channels, and especially on their Patreon. And I have to say that they were a big motivator for me to start making a game each month. Unfortunately, I also discovered that they actually make a game every 4 months. So there's 4 developers in their team, so they work on a single game for 4 months, not 1 month. But I'm a solo game developer who's going to be making a game each month. So, but anyhow, the Sockpop Collective is a very big inspiration for this given challenge I decided to start. And there's reason for that also. Not only because I'm just curious in seeing how can I make games each month, but I've been making games since 2009, releasing different games on different platforms, and I've noticed the trend from the 2009 to 2024 that making profitable indie games is very hard these days. As you can see from the charts, there's a lot of games being released each year, and it's increasing all the time. So my name is Klaus the Tester Garian, and I've been, like mentioned, in the game industry since 2009, and it's changed a lot from those days. And kind of the idea that you make a game and you release a game on Steam or a similar platform, the idea before was that you would get players, you would get some amount of users, or maybe even medium amount of users looking at your game and playing the game. Even though if it's very bad game or it's a very good game, you would still get players back in the days, and you would hear the feedback that the game is bad, or you would get the feedback that the game is good. But kind of how the industry has shifted, if kind of I try to simplify it as much as I can, that nowadays if you ship a game on Steam, you will get 0 feedback. If you're very lucky, you may get a couple of comments or reviews or such for the game. But if you do not do any kind of a marketing, it's very, very obvious that you won't get a single player for your game. And even though if you do marketing, nothing is kind of taking for granted that you would get players or such, because the market is so crowded. There's so many games being released on a daily basis that the players are crowded with different releases and different noise that is happening on different social medias and the games that the influencers play all the time, different games and such. So there's kind of it's very hard to get interested of something because there's so much noise. So many games are being released. And that changed the market a lot, because obviously you can still release a game on Steam without doing any marketing and you would get good amount of players. But it's highly influenced by luck. Let's say it's so influenced by luck that it doesn't even make any sense. And that's actually one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start this journey of making 24 games within 24 months, is because I want to see that does it have to do anything with the luck. Because a lot of people argue that it has nothing to do with the luck, and you need to be just making a good enough game and to have a clear focus group for your games and such. and that will get you a decent amount of players and such. But I dare to disagree, and the reason for that is because I've been making so many different games in the past years, and there's no logic what is working and what is not. Highly polished games has nothing to do with the sales, and you can build a game that is very rough on the edges, but you would still get a good amount of sales for that. And it's not about the features of the game. You can have like very simple mechanics in the game, like you can play the game through in 10 minutes, but you would still get a lot of players. Or you may have a game that has hundreds of hours of content and you would still get a couple of players. So it just doesn't make any sense. So that's one of the reasons why I started to want to try this given journey to make 24 games within 24 months, is because I want to see the trend. Like if I make, let's say, 12 games, how does the data differentiate between these given games? Is there some specific genres that work better, or is there some specific art style that work good, or maybe some specific mechanic, or whatever it is? But I just want to kind of discover this by doing so different games. All of these will be very small games, obviously, but these will be as different as possibly can. And I will try my best not to copy from my own games, at least from the beginning with the first 12 games or such. But I will try my best to make as different games as possible. But obviously, I will also, during the journey, look at the data of the games that have been released and try to understand that if there is any trend that is functioning or not functioning. But my guess is that the non-functioning games will be there, a lot of them. But if that is the case, I think it's more easier to spot games that are performing better if most of the games don't work. But we'll see. But anyhow, this so-called standard methods for shipping games no longer work, and I've tried, like mentioned in the previous things, is that I've tried so many different kinds of games, and there's no logic. I'm not gonna repeat myself, but anyhow, it has nothing to do with the mechanics or the art style or anything so far. Like it's you can make very simple games and they will still get good amount of players, and you can build like very complicated and a lot of content for games, and you would still get 0 players. So there's no logic. So but that's basically the reason, is at least in my opinion, is that because there's so many games on Steam, or in all of the platforms nowadays, and the algorithm itself has a lot to do with how players can find the game, obviously. But still, I think Steam is doing a very good job in showing the games that don't even perform well to decent amount of players, and they're kind of giving a chance for even small games to get players. So I think they're doing pretty good job on Steam to give the visibility for all types of games. That's at least my opinion. So I wouldn't blame the algorithm, but there's like millions of different things that affect that will the game be so-called successful game or not, and because there's millions of things, you just cannot take into account all of them, and because of that, it's very hard to say that what worked and what not. So you just need to try out things and make your assumptions from that. But anyhow, even good games get buried, and the new world of games requires new, brave, and creative ways to obtain visibility, and it's not done overnight. Obviously, these done overnight things are still there, like mentioned. You can still release a lottery ticket on Steam, and it may get a big amount of players if, let's say, some big influencer catches the game or something like that. So the overnight success is obviously still there. But it's very hard to repeat overnight success, because it has a lot to do with the luck, but it's still possible. New, brave, and creative ways. I find that I wanna kind of build a strategy in releasing games that is slow, but it's sure. And that's the reason also why I wanted to start making game each month, is because you find that there's a high possibility that I'm able to build these small games that people enjoy playing for those, let's say, 10 to 30 or 60 minutes or something like that. And people start to see that these games are coming out each month. So maybe it's interesting to follow this and see what kind of a game comes out next month. And if I'm able to repeat this and make game after game, it may be something that people just want to hang around and see, like what kind of a games there's going to be coming next. And with that, I mean that the progress to get players for games may be very slow, but it's sure. At least that's how I see it. So with the data and community, which hopefully this kind of so-called strategy would allow me to have, obviously data is something that I will most definitely get, but will there be any community around the games I build? I'm not sure. We'll see about that. But first I need a lot of those shipped games to say that does it work or not. And the idea here is very similar to Sockpop's system, is that I'm going to be making one game each month, and all the Patreon members that are paid members on Patreon will get the game. And for starters, I think it's going to be like €3 for being a member or paid member on Patreon and get each of the games. But also I'm going to be shipping all of these games on Steam and itch.io as well as a paid release. So just to kind of compare the data from games, that how people find the game on itch.io and how they find it on Steam and how many people buy it from those given platforms and such. So it's kind of a, let's say, a laboratory to do some kind of a research that how does it function and such, which of these platforms function and so forth. But yeah, normally shipping a lot of games would require a lot of money, but I've been in the game industry since for like 15 years right now, and I've acquired all the required skills to make games as a solo game developer, which allows me to make games alone without any, let's say, backup or such. Obviously I tend to get some kind of a backup from freelancers or people who want to assist, like some part of the graphics or with the marketing or stuff like that. So obviously I'm not so masochistic that I intend to do everything alone, but I'm pretty much able to do that all alone. But just kind of to streamline the process, I will most definitely ask for help from various sources. But yeah, so because I'm able to do the games alone, the costs for making, let's say, 24 games within 24 months will be rather short. And that's why it's even possible. There's also a catch in these 24 games that I'm going to be making, is that each of these games will be set to the same universe. And that universe is the Seeker universe. And I've been building this given universe for a very long time now. I guess the next slide is, yes. So I've been building this given Seeker universe for a very long time, actually with my kids. So I have 3 kids, and we've been building this fantasy world which is more or less kind of a Pokemon-ish world with Ghibli references and stuff like that, because we love to watch Ghibli movies, and we love to play with Pokemon cards and watch the series and the movies and such. So it's been kind of just influenced by those very, like, a lot. And I find that creature collecting is something that all people like to do in some way. It's just interesting to see what kind of monsters are there and how can you catch those and what are their special abilities and stuff like that. So within the past, I don't know, like 2016 or something like that, we started to build this Seeker universe with my kids. And we've been organizing like these art galleries, which you can see from the images. We have these t-shirts, and actually there's a virtual reality game released on PlayStation 5, the VR2 devices, and there's a physical card game for Seeker, and there's lots of stuff like being done for the Seekers so far. So this is not starting from the scratch. I've been running a YouTube channel for some time. There's a little more than 1,000 or something subscribers right now. Thank you for that, by the way. But still, The Seeker has a lot of stuff on the background already, which are not being released and such. And I will be using a lot of that, let's say the assets and the stories and such, to build the upcoming 24 games that I'll be building. So it's not totally from scratch, each of these games, but obviously there's a lot to do with the kind of a code and even the assets and such that I need to do for each game separately. But yeah, so the Seeker itself is a Pokemon-like, Ghibli-like world. And with Pokemon-like, I mean that it's gonna be for all ages, these games, so there's not gonna be some super gore or hardcore or horror things in the games and such. It's gonna be rather for all ages type of games. And the whole idea of Seeker is that each of these games are planned to more or less to awaken the curiosity and the creativity of the player. And how do you do that? It's basically, I like this saying that the joy of discovery. So I want to build these type of games which doesn't explain themselves so carefully. So the player is more or less required to test things and try out stuff and see what happens when you do that or this, and if you combine these, what happens, and things like that. So that's kind of the curiosity and the creativity side in the games I want to include. I'm not sure is the current games like the Secret Quest or the Secret My Shadow having this joy of discovery that implemented well as I like it, but I still something that I want to get better at building games that allows the player to actually have the joy of discovery themselves rather than having tutorials and stuff like that to explain what they're supposed to be doing. So that's a big, let's say, thing for me, which I want to include in the games. And because of that, I'm hopefully able to build a world and kind of this universe where there's different kind of weird places that the player discovers and tries out different stuff, and it can become something very interesting if I'm able to keep those alive in all of the games that I make. So with these 24 games that I've been making, I will be gathering the data and community as mentioned, and also I will be trying these different kind of art styles and best mechanics and best genres that could be the best fit for the creature collector theme. So you can expect very various of games being done during this 24-month period. And the reason for that is very simple, to see which of these suit best for the creature collector theme. And after these 24 games, maybe I have some understanding what kind of games are the best fit for the creature collector theme, and I can work with those to build something even more interesting or more focused into those given areas that I have discovered. So yeah, what happens after the 2-year period is basically I pick the best performing genres and games and continue, and maybe the strategy will change into something that I will make a game every 2 months, or I will keep on making a game each month, or maybe I will make 2 games each month. I don't know. I don't know, but the main idea is that I want to discover what are the best performing genres and games for the creature collector team, and then work with those. So that's also, I'm not intending to work alone for the rest of my life. The idea is that this could be kind of a sustainable way to scale a company as well, that I'm working with the games alone, and when I start finding different kind of genres or games that sell good, I can then, with those numbers, and start recruiting people to assist with the projects and so forth. So maybe these are, like, as an example, like release manager or community manager or freelance artists, or maybe even full-time artists, I don't know. But anyhow, to get people around to streamline the processes. But this needs to be done in a very sustainable way, that I will only get more people around these projects when the sales are enough, that I'm able to cover my own costs, and then start taking more people around the project if that's possible. But it's not something I'm holding my breath to get more people around. I'm building the pipeline and the systems to work in a way that I can actually develop those alone, and that's the core plan. But still, some idea in my forehead is that I want to have people around me at some point, but I just want to do the scaling as sustainable as possible. The marketing side is a very interesting thing. The whole idea is that the making a game each month and releasing that at the end of each month could be already as interesting enough for people to follow and stay around and buy the games and such. But I will also reach out to existing communities like influencers and press and tell about this banger story, which you just heard about making the 24 games in 24 months. And hopefully I will catch some interest from there. But the main core thing is still that I will ship a game each month and tell about it in different places. And hopefully over time and slowly I'm able to build a community to spread the word of the Patreon and have people supporting the project on Patreon and such. So this will definitely not be an overnight success. It will be a very, very long process to slowly build the community and have the people around me. But hopefully, the kind of I can see the trend in let's say after 5 or 6 releases, that I can see that people slowly start to get interested in about these games or such. But we'll see. But anyhow, the main thing is that I could see the slow reach, growing reach for people. That's the main thing, which hopefully happens. I made some plans how and when I'm gonna be doing stuff, so there's a lot to take in one single slide, but I wanted to open this up like immediately when I have some plan around me. So the September next month, the Secret 24 starts. I will start making a game each month, and there's the list of games I will be starting with. I'm not sure is the order final, but anyhow, these games I will be releasing first. So the Secret Quest, which is in early access right now, then Cats with Standards, which has a demo on Steam, and then the Secret Helena, which has a Steam page live, but there's no playable around. Then one of my favorite games, the fishing game, I will be building that. And then one cozy pixel game, which I have art already ready for. And then there's the Quattro Stagioni, which is one of the projects I want to make. It has art ready, or some part of it. And I will be making that. And the Secret Soul Run, which has been on the stores for a century right now. So I want to also release that on Steam. And then starts the kind of making games from scratch. Even though I have to say that I already have a lot of art assets and such, which I already explained early on for Secret Universe, so I will not be working with each of these projects from scratch. I will be using some of my own assets that I have made during the past years and such to ship these upcoming games. So I have some understanding what these games could be, but I will kind of open or let's say I will return into the thinking what is the next game when the time is right. But the first, let's say, 4, 5, 6, 7 games are more or less kind of set to stone. That these are the games that I will be shipping, and then move into the games that are, let's say, totally incomplete or doesn't have any assets prepared so far, but some slight assets. But yeah, so the roadmap for the first year approximately is there. So I will also start an investment round, by the way. I will be telling about that in some future posts as well. But I want to try asking for people, not the traditional investor path. I'm gonna be asking just normal people like my friends and family and stuff, people like that, who could be interested in investing this. I'm already able to run this given company for, let's say, around a little less than 2 years with my own savings and such. So I will be doing that anyhow. But I will also start the investment round at let's say next month or such, to ask people to aid with the final months to be able to actually ship those 24 games. Even though if the sales are bad, I will be doing this anyhow. So that's why I'm asking for people to assist with even small investments and such. And there's the KPIs, so the key performance indicators that I'm going to be following. These are mainly just for myself to see that am I approaching or doing the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. Like as an example, the paid Patreon members. I try to reach to 100 Patreon members by the end of Q1 of 2026. So that's a little more than half a year or such. And hopefully during that time I'm able to get 100 paid members on Patreon. But we'll see if that's possible. But at least I have some kind of idea what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to get people at and stuff like that. So it just helps me to focus in the right things. And I try to hit 10k in sales by the end of the Q2 of 2026. And Q3, I tried to get the paid members of Patreon to 250, and by the end of next year, I'm hopefully able to sell in total of the games with 50k euros. So that's kind of my KPIs for the first year, and I have no clue are these realistic and such, but I just want to have some numbers for myself, like mentioned, to focus on the right things on the right time. And also there's the some side plans, like hire freelance artists to prepare the upcoming games. I want to get some assistance from to flattering the road for each release and such. But also the conference attendance. I want to attend some of the conferences next year to tell about this journey of mine. And I'm going to be starting to prepare for the investment round 2 at some point to secure the rest of the project and maybe even the future of the project, depending on the situation. The investment round 2 may not also happen if I'm able to hit these sales numbers here or maybe a little more than that. But still, something I may need to prepare at the end of next year. So, as mentioned, I wanted to keep this as transparent as possible, and there's the plan. And that's why I started to make a game each month and with this given plan. And it would be super fun to have people around me to work with. So if you are in a position that you can make a game each month, or even 1 month, please join me, like next month as an example, and join our Discord channel. And let's just share like how's the game building going and what kind of challenges there are and such. I try to keep these devlogs rather occasional, maybe even every week, if people find these interesting, obviously. So if you found this anyhow interesting, because this is the end of the video, if you found this anyway interesting, be sure to hit the like button at least, because that's an indicator for me that there's some value about of this for you, because this is let's say 50% of the reason why I'm making these videos is to give some value for other people. But if you don't find any value, there's no reason for me to use time for this. But I will be making the games anyhow. But I just want to share the journey while at it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this, and I hope to see you on the Discord. And if you like, please subscribe, or how do you call that? Become a paid member on Patreon. It's €3 per month. I'm not sure how much that is in dollars with today's course. But anyhow, it's not that much. So I hope to see you there, and have a great rest of the week. Cheers. Thank you, and bye-bye.